the majority of the world just looks at all of this as being unfathomable cringe, like hyper online internet culture, and ones that are just devoid of any art or substance. It's like, hey, you like art? Well, what if we just had an AI replicate infinite numbers of variants on a really ugly looking animal? Is this what is this is cool, right? And then we can build a subculture around it with slurp juice and other Hopefully the whole thing isn't kind of a troll job by someone who has like a lot of ties to the alt-right or anything. Hopefully this whole thing isn't just to promote neo-Nazi propaganda. Hopefully it's just fun and games. If you didn't know about the NFT New York City conference, it went down. There was a lot of funny things we've already laughed at. One of the first ones was that one of the reporters was talking about how he saw Snoop Dogg having about 4 or 5 security guards walking through, and he ran up to the handler immediately and was like, "Oh, can I interview Snoop Dogg? I'm very curious about why is he so enthusiastic about you know, Bored Ape Yacht Club and some other stuff." And the handler said, "I have to legally tell you that this is in fact not Snoop Dogg. We've hired a Snoop Dogg lookalike, and that is to drum up excitement, of course, at the NFT conference." What was his name? Something Snog? Dupe Snog. That's what it was. It was Dupe Snog, not Snoop Dogg, unfortunately. So there was that. There was the concerts at the Bored Ape Music Festival, where everyone watching the concert didn't want to be at the concert. Like, all the crypto bros were like, "Yeah, we just got LCD sound system out of retirement. We can do anything to the moon." And then they're playing their songs and no one knew who they were. And they're all just kind of like, huh? Like looking around the whole time. It was also a massive man sausage fest. Yes, it was a man sausage fest.
Money, art, the future. I want to understand it all. And what better way than the nexus of all those things? NFT NYC 2022. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Home of the most single men in one place since Joker hit the big screens. This event packs more undeserved wealth in it than the Panama Papers. You just kind of have random dudes walking around with JPEGs worth a house. And speaking of houses, I haven't heard so much of the word utility without any utilities since the Texas freeze hit my house last year. And yes, those are some cheesy jokes, and maybe some of you think I should...
Well, I was like, hey, is CoffeeZilla getting radicalized? I guess everyone is, right? It's kind of hard. You don't even need to bread pill people anymore. Just life is bread pilling them, pretty much. You know, people are just suddenly like, why does the system suck and why am I unhappy all the time? Why do all the technology that's supposed to make my life better make me sad? Why do I go on the phone for 6 hours a day? I don't understand why. And why do I have to work 2 jobs when I went to college? I don't get that either. Why is this all happening? Why aren't the people in charge who are supposed to help us not helping us? Why are they taking our money and turning it into war stuff? I don't really like that. I don't know why we're always building all the war stuff and we don't have healthcare. That one seems weird to me. Why don't we, like, aren't we important too? Isn't the army supposed to protect our lives? So how can they protect us if we are dying because we can't see doctors all the time? Why is that? Can I find out?
Leave it to the professionals. But just remember, sometimes that professional is Amy Schumer.
I don't know what NFT stands for.
What? I didn't know about this. Wow. The fall is complete. I was joking the other day that no one makes fun of, like, you know how the right usually like to go after the feminist comedians. It's usually Lena Dunham or Amy Schumer. That was back in the day, by the way, okay? That was like the old school, early aughts kind of internet culture, and they were always the targets. Like when Girls was really popular and, you know, Amy Schumer had her own show, they were always the 2 big people that they would, like, target, right? They would be like, "Oh, fucking look at these liberal white feminists." But that's really funny. Now she's gone all the way to shilling NFTs. Good stuff.
I mean, it's not looking out, not f***ing tonight. Is that correct? Do I have that right?
I mean, yikes.
Wow.
Imagine paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a Bored Ape just to get called a virgin at your biggest event of the year. And believe it or not, this is actually as good as it gets. Ape Fest was without a doubt the biggest part of NFT NYC. And that's really what all of it was about, basically. The parties. Whoever had the biggest NFT projects got the biggest stars, and the only way you could get...
I see Eminem. I also see Tiesto. Eminem and Tiesto. What you doing? By the way, shame on Eminem. Fucking, he released a track with Snoop Dogg, which obviously jumped up the YouTube charts, and the whole thing was to promote some fucking cryptocurrency. Like, they're all doing the scams.
These parties was holding the NFT token. So finally, holding on to your NFT actually has value. And depending on what project you were at, this paid off in different ways. If you were at a mid-level party like Doodles, you'd have people like Pharrell. But if you were at the big boys, Ape Fest, you got A-list celebrities. We're talking Eminem and Snoop Dogg performances. And then, of course, going down the list, you also had more low-tier, more budget NFT operations with more budget celebrities. People like this, Dupe Snog. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This lady thinks she's getting a picture with none other than Gin and Juice, and actually she's getting a picture with Juice and Gin. I mean, that's got to sting after you post that to Instagram. This is the tactics of some of the lesser NFT projects who couldn't afford some of the bigger stars. And so they hire people like this Snoop Dogg impersonator to drum up excitement for their projects.
DOOP.
And you know what?
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Is that what NFTs are all about? Are they just a status symbol? Are NFTs just a litmus test for how rich you really are? And if so, who's going to care about them besides rich people? It made me think that the #1 challenge for NFTs at events like this is really just convincing the rest of us, the poors. Why should we take these digital JPEGs seriously when most of them are designed to price us out? And I have to say, so far, the sales pitch on these things isn't going well, as this reporter showed.
Get your NFTs here. Get your NFTs. Going cheap. After ice. Anyone, get your NFTs now. Don't be shy. When the man with the bargains has passed you by. NFTs, anyone? Anyone? Nobody cares.
Nobody seems to like NFTs. We didn't find anybody who actually had anything positive to say about them. That doesn't mean they're not here, but it just goes to show what a crazy minority people who like these things are.
Now, it's true that NFT enthusiasts may blame the lack of widespread acceptance on many things. For example, some of them may just say they're early and nobody gets it yet. Maybe it's just all the really cringy moments NFT NYC produced that I haven't even mentioned yet. Things like this.
I'm getting drunk on truth. Truth and freedom. Truth and freedom. Freedom on the corporation.
And look, maybe you're thinking that's...
Oh no. Oh no. Like, fuck. The end of the world is gonna be so weird. It's gonna be so weird. People always picture it like Mad Max shit, fucking people painting their faces and jumping on cars, fucking motorcycles, rock music. It's gonna be weird. It's just gonna be really weird and sad.
Not so bad. Maybe it's all these haters of NFTs that are the real problem.
Mad Max is weird. It is, but it's cool. This is all so sad.
But all in all, I don't think it's any of those things. I think the biggest problem facing NFTs is actually not the cringe, not the haters. It's that right now, the purpose of a lot of these projects...
Well, I mean... I think they're still doing a half-decent job at scamming people who have money to spend on useless garbage and trying to inflate them as status symbols. The problem is, for every Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul, who else is in the long list? At either rate, for all of the, like, you know, the celebrities that you're able to pull in to try and legitimize and make this cool, Paris Hilton, Jimmy Fallon, all these people, the majority of the world just looks at all of this as being unfathomable cringe, like hyper online internet culture, and ones that are just fucking devoid of any art or substance. It's like, hey, you like art? Well, what if we just had an AI replicate infinite numbers of variants on a really ugly looking animal? This is cool, right? And then we can build a subculture around it with slurp juice and other shit. Hopefully the whole thing isn't kind of a troll job by someone who has like a lot of ties to the alt-right or anything. Hopefully this whole thing isn't just to promote neo-Nazi propaganda. Hopefully it's just fun and games.
It's very vague. I mean, beyond the whole like set it as your identity and wait for the $sign to go up, it's not really clear why you would buy one.
Maybe if these touched grass more, there would be less cringe. No, the whole thing is cringe by design. See, if you have these hyper insular communities, sometimes based on having someone at the top who has a lot of money or someone at the top who has a bit of sway or celebrity, especially if a celebrity is trying to launch an NFT, You then get this community online on Discord where they all think that they are communally going to get rich, and they're all working together. Sometimes, and they profiled a lot of these people, they can be early 20s, people who have failed at other things in life, and they think that this is going to be the one thing that pays off really well because they've seen line go up so much for other people. It also combines elements of gambling, it combines the addictiveness of gambling, stuff like that, and then you get them into these little insular communities, and of course the shit that's going to come out of it is going to be utterly bizarre. And there will be some people who make a fuck ton of money. I mean, it's like any other Ponzi scheme or multi-level marketing. There's going to be people at the very top who do profit quite a bit.
One of these things. Maybe for now you could argue that it's these all-access parties that make it worth it, but I don't know if that's really going to cut it, because there are cheaper ways to see Snoop Dogg than spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I think that's why you saw...
Yeah, like, come on. Is the Bored Ape Yacht Club only something you can attend if you own a Bored Ape? In which case, is that why it was so fucking sad? Like, with people who clearly didn't know the very bands they booked and were just kind of staring around the whole time and being like, what are we doing here? What's going on? Let's see if there's a compilation for this kind of stuff.
Okay, hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. I do hope and pray that you're doing well, and I hope that you're going to do well after we watch this video, which may in fact be one of the most depressing videos I've seen in my life. I haven't even watched it yet, and I know this is probably going to hit me hard. It has to do with two things that I have very strong feelings on. One being Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, which I think are ugly, dumb, cringe,
Fantano gets it,
not aesthetic at all in any way. They make me feel like there's no hope for humanity. We have talked on this channel multiple times about rappers and artists and public figures kind of embracing the NFT craze.
Of course.
Thankfully, it's not as intense as it was a few months or so ago. But I guess in New York recently, you know, Bored Ape has been doing an Ape Fest thing. I guess they got like a little concert stage going, and there was I guess it's their choice to do this shit. Heart eyes.
Like, do none of you know who LCD Sound System is?
Check out of that, and not that it's like gonna come through, because there were a bunch of other artists who
LCD Sound System, Questlove. Oh man, The Roots. No, The Roots are one of my favorite hip hop groups. Oh, god damn it.
Kind of just put its greasy, disgusting little claws into very...
Oh man, even if it was outdoors, the fucking smell. I can smell it from here.
A lot of these NFT projects this year promising to do a bunch of things outside of NFTs. Like Doodles, for example, announced it would be in the music, gaming, animation, consumer product space, all at the same time for some reason.
I don't judge artists for getting paid. I judge artists for promoting this shit, though. Like, you are legitimizing this entire thing, which, again, is kind of credibly a right-wing, far-right troll job that is the Bored Ape, you know, Yacht Club. But legitimizing it and getting fucking people to put real money into buying useless garbage so that they can continue to do this last man standing scheme over and over and over.
Meanwhile, a competitor, Cool Cats, is planning to launch a video game. So is Bored Ape Yacht Club, by the way. But all of this
by playing a paying gig, but getting paid in a Bored Ape. Like, some of these people have been given Bored Apes, and that's their form of payment. It's like, you get, sure, we'll give you like $100,000 for your live show, or $300,000 for your live show, but it's coming in the form of Ethereum, in the form of a Bored Ape.
Kind of feels like these projects admitting that their NFTs aren't really going to cut it, justifying those big price tags. And if they're not, if the NFTs aren't the important thing, then what is? It's very hard to understand, and NFT 2022 didn't exactly help. But then again, there's always next year.
How much have you invested in the NFTs so far? To be honest, over 6 figures.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Dairy, Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.